So today we are in a Karoq, and look, the beast from the east. Oh, and turd from a bird there.
It's as though Mother Nature or Jesus or someone has set this up.
For a start, this car used to be called Yeti. So, you know, all this snow, beast, there's something in that somewhere. I don't know, irony or something.
But mainly the from the east bit, sort of. And the Karoq here is knocked up in Skoda's main Czech Republic factory, which is where Skoda's from.
But the narrative usefulness of this serendipitous snowfall pretty much ends there, because this car is neither a beast nor from the east.
Firstly, it's a Volkswagen, so not from the east at all. And it's really, really a Volkswagen. Let's play a quick game of Spot the Karoq among these recent VW Group SUVs. Yep, it's this one. No, not that one, sorry. This one.
And it's really not a beast either. It feels small in here. Well, not small exactly, but you know, compact and manageable. More like a mid-sized domesticated animal.
Which is a handy reference point because this is a very easy thing to live with. It doesn't really feel much bigger than the Yeti from the driver's seat, but it is. Take the boot, for example. Considered by many, including me, to be the Achilles heel of the Yeti, because it was quite small. Well, the Karoq's boot is a whopping 172 litres bigger than the Yeti's, which is pretty much like adding the boot of a Fiat 500.
And beyond the numbers, the boot is genuinely impressive in this thing.
For a start, it's got all these hooks and rails and compartments. And for a relatively small fee, you can have an adjustable boot floor. It's been proper well thought out, basically. However, if you've got a top of the range car or you want to pay a bit more in your base model car, you can have VarioFlex seats. And they're brilliant because it not only means that all the seats fold down individually and can be slid backwards and forwards, but they can also be removed completely. Van ahoy!
It has more cabin space than the Yeti too. Genuinely feels like a proper sized family car in here. Again, while feeling manageable for parking and stuff.
But the Yeti was brilliant to drive, so presumably the Karoq is too, yes?
No. Well, not no, but I'll explain. It drives with exactly the sort of supple blandness that you'd expect from something that's come from the vag.
Don't look at me, that's what people call it.
The ride quality is comfort biased, and it does a fantastic job of smoothing everything over without having that over floaty quality. Sadly, in the transition up market, the Karoq has lost a whole chunk of what it was that made the Yeti so memorable behind the wheel.
Character, that is. When the Yeti came out, it was genuinely surprising because it was so much fun to drive. Brilliant off-road too, as it happens. It was actually comparable to a well sorted out hatchback, which for a tall car at the time was amazing.
Now it's just all very generic. A box-ticking exercise in all the qualities that make any given driving experience unobtrusively well engineered, i.e. comfy but without much body roll, very little road and wind noise, excellent visibility, fuss-free control layout, and brilliantly intuitive infotainment software.
In fact, the only criticism I really have is it's got this vaguely van-like driving position where the pedals are a bit too close and sort of a bit horizontal no matter where you put the seat. As it happens, that's a quality shared with the Tiguan, on which this car is based. So no surprise there. The good stuff continues apace. Like the feeling of quality is blandly magnificent. Sort of like the dashboard embodiment of a girl group put together by Simon Cowell. And the assemblage of convenient storage spaces, including a big flap on the dashboard, which is normally wasted space. The pure thought that's gone into this car is absolutely lovely, right down to stuff like an ice scraper that's concealed inside the fuel filler flap cover. Why doesn't everybody do stuff like that? It's priced well too, of course, to the point that even beyond the lowest list prices, the Karoq continues to look like excellent value. What I'm saying is, consider that the top of the range car, which is equipped with all the whistles and bells that you could ever want, is only this much. Now, given the space and the flexibility and the relative luxuriousness of this car, that price is really good. And of course, it's 5-star safe. Now normally I'd go through engines here, but to be honest, just pick any mid-level Volkswagen SUV or family car that you like, and you're pretty much looking at the engine range here, so we'll skip past that. What I will say, and it's something that I don't normally cover, is that the Skoda Configurator is brilliant because not only does it show you what all the options cost, but it gives you a typical monthly price. So if you're buying your car on finance, which most people do, you can see how much each option is going to add. For example, the two options that I mentioned before, they cost roughly this much.
There's just the overarching sense that everything in this car has been questioned and honed and refined so as to eliminate even the teeniest, tiniest possibility of being offensive or inconvenient or substandard in any way.
You finish driving this car and you just sort of go, getting excited about it is like getting excited about a draft excluder or a particularly timely bowel movement.
If you want well-oiled anonymity, then let's face it, that is what most people want from their car because most people don't care about cars really. Then here it is. The family crossover is pretty much perfected here, and for a reasonable price.
But if you want a bit more than that, if you want something with a bit of something, then this isn't it. What's especially disappointing is that's exactly what the Yeti was. It was a bit odd and a bit ugly and a bit flawed, but it was mostly great, and more importantly, it was inexplicably joyful. So, in conclusion, if you want the surprisingly dull apotheosis of mid-sized SUV thingies, here it is. But if you want a bit more than that, buy a Peugeot 3008. Never thought I'd hear myself say that. Or buy a used Yeti. Thanks for watching. More over at HJ. Geordie Jesus, out.
No. Well... that was brilliant. I just got overtaken by a really old lady who was peering over the steering wheel in a Vauxhall Zafira. My manhood just did that.